I think you might have seen that Politico, a news source in Washington, they said they got $8 million from USAID. Well, here's the whole story. They got about 44,000 in subscriptions from USAID, and the rest of the number is just simply made up. It's across all levels of federal government in subscriptions. Many offices, including I think it was Lauren Boebert's office, subscribes to Politico. So it's hardly the Marxist whatever they were saying, but they outright lied about the amount of money that supposedly USAID was spending there. They also claim without any evidence, and we're looking for it, you find it, please share it, that Nancy Pelosi received $137 million from USAID. Ridiculous. We can't get money as a member of Congress through a federal contract, nor can most federal employees. However, Elon Musk does. And we'll come back to that in a second. By last Friday, they're starting to tear down the sign at USAID. And this week, they started telling their employees not to come in. I think Elon Musk called it a criminal organization, that it was time for it to die. He demonized the people who work there, calling them radical left Marxists who hate America. This is coming from a guy who was born in South Africa. And by the end of the week, their workforce went from 10,000 to essentially under 300. What they do is provide treatments for and prevention for malaria, tuberculosis, HIV and AIDS, humanitarian aid for civilians affected by violent conflicts. The most significant legislative action of the week was the Senate confirming Russ Vought, who's one of the chief architects of Project 2025. He's now the Office of Management and Budget Director, which puts him in a very powerful position to do just what Project 2025 wanted to do, is do reductions across all sorts of federal agencies so that they can get the $4 trillion they need in the next 10 years to pay for the tax cuts for the wealthiest that Donald Trump has proposed. That's something to continue to watch for in the coming months. One of the more crazy events of the week, I think, was when Donald Trump said that the United States is going to take over Gaza. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're watching it very closely. It would be an awful idea. I think so far we've talked about invading 5 countries since Donald Trump has become president, but certainly that's one that I think hopefully is in the Donald Trump just talking and not actually planning anything. We introduced a bill called the Elon Musk Act. And this was a bill directly going after the contracts that Elon Musk has. He's had over $20 billion of contracts with the federal government, currently $3 billion, and yet his new role as a special government employee gives him the control over the levers of spending for federal agencies. Look, as I said, a member of Congress can't have a federal contract. Federal employees can't have a federal contract in any area they can control. And here's a guy who, if you want to live or die as an agency, you got to keep Elon Musk happy. We can stop the corruption that the Trump administration and Elon Musk are doing. This act is one of those attempts. We're going to have a lot more coming. And one more thing, on the positive front, we've started a podcast. And every week we're going to talk to different folks in Washington that are working on the issues that we're hearing about from everyone back home. We want to make sure that you're having a chance to hear a longer form conversation about issues like Medicare Advantage, Social Security, campaign finance reform, how billionaires use tax breaks to, quite honestly, rip the rest of us off. Issues like that with some of the best experts around the country. With liberty and justice for some is the name of the podcast. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, and a lot of other places. But please give it a listen. First episode went live this week, and look for it every week. That's This Week in Washington.